Was the fiance a thing that led into the depression or not related at all?
Yeah, actually. So I was with my fiance for 5 years. We got together when I was in high school. We met working at Wally World, because that's where we met. And it didn't start out as a bad relationship, but he turned into kind of all the guys I watched growing up in my mom's life. My mom, I love her very much, but kept pretty toxic men around. And you never want to, like, I always say, like, I'm not going to end up in a relationship like that. Like, I know more. But, like, I didn't have value in myself. I didn't know Jesus at this time. So I ended up dating a very mentally and emotionally abusive person. So I was in church at this time, but I wasn't an active believer. I think you can go to church and not actually believing in the Lord. So I was going through all the motions of proclaiming I was a Christian, but not actually having my heart in loving the Lord. And so finally, I went to begging God to make my fiance break up with me. And he's just like, that's not how this works. I can't make anyone do anything. And so then I went to begging God to, have someone object at my wedding. And he's just like, is that really fair for someone else to clean up your mess? And I was like, you're not wrong. I can't refute that because I got myself into this mess. And then God gave me an opening to break up with him. And I normally don't advocate for breaking up via emails or letters or like text messages, but sometimes there are appropriate instances to do that. And this was one of them just because of his volatile, like, personality, and he was getting way more controlling and way more like possessive and like needing to keep track of me. Like, he would quit jobs to make sure I was going to do what I said I was doing, or like keep an eye on me. But like, if he knew where I was, he would then cancel plans because then he knew I would get depressed and not do anything to go hang out with his friends. So it wasn't a good relationship. And so I broke up with him, and my letter was nothing but kind of compassionate, obviously as compassionate as breaking up with your fiance can be. And then he sent a very, very nasty letter back, nailing every insecurity and problem I had in the coffin lid. And so it just set me on a massive spiral of depression. I got into dance for a little bit, and dance was helping. And I actually started pursuing my relationship with Jesus hardcore at the time, but I was still had addictions to things I was trying to work out. I was still very like emotionally numb. I wasn't really processing anything. And if you don't process things just kind of come out sideways. So I was like just swirling down a toilet bowl. And then COVID happened, and I love my mom, but I was stuck at home with my mom, and she has a very negative like mindset, and she's a very like inward person. So like a lot of things are about her, which makes it very hard when like you break up with your fiance and then you're stuck at your house with your mom and the world's shut down and you can't do anything. And then my grandma got sick, and then I was really close to my grandma. We actually worked really hard on forming a good relationship after I split with my ex. So from like 2009 18 to like 2021, I had a very solid relationship with my grandma, and like she loved the Lord. She prayed for me so much. Like, I am blessed that she was my grandma, but she's with Jesus now, and I will get to see her one day. And then she got sick and died, and then my grandpa left. He just up and moved. And then it was just moving after moving. I've moved 8 times in like 4 years. So like loneliness hit hard because most of my moving has been confined to one state, all over the state, but I could still like travel to see people. Like, I didn't care if I had to drive 2 hours to go visit people or 3 hours to visit people, because I would do that because they were at least in the same state as me. When you're moving massive states away and it's suddenly a 14-hour drive to go visit somebody, you're literally alone. Like, I didn't have people, which led to Twitch. I was just like, I need community. I need fellowship. I see what my sister's building online. I see the people she's connecting with. I was just like, if she can do it, I can do it too. And enter Twitch, and we're still here like 2 years later.